Technically, I was in two gangs. I used to be allegedly. I don't know if I should say this. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe. Can we have like a censored segment of the podcast?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5 of Papstalk. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have an epic episode for you today. One of the very many requested guests here on the show, Mr. Patar, Bellosh, one of the hardest working people I've ever come across. I'll be honest with you guys. An entrepreneur, a man of many talents. We'll get into all of that right after this intro.
From high-profile senators to everyday heroes, Gossip Girl spills the tea on everyone. Subscribe for the latest gossip and rumours via text at 420-015-0215. No one escapes Gossip Girl's radar.
Mr. Patar, welcome to the show, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's exciting. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure for me.
You know, that we do ask a lot of people when we give out tapes and stuff, who do you want to hear on the show? And your name has come up probably more than anybody else's.
Has it?
Yeah, it's very exciting, very interesting. There's a lot of people
who's been requesting.
I mean, most of the city. You know, we go around handing these tapes all week, so it's been a lot of people want to know more about you.
Oh shit! Okay. I didn't know I was valid like that. Okay.
Yeah, you got that street cred, bro. You got that street cred.
Okay. I got that street cred. Okay.
You know, we always it's tradition around here. We always say I gave you a little intro before we hit the intro. Entrepreneur, one of the hardest working people I know, but there's nothing like you introducing yourself to get the listeners to get to know you a little better. So in your own words, Patar, who are you?
Well, I'm Mr. Jiggity Man. I used to do a jiggity back in the day. It's my special move. It's my ultimate move. You know, it's my special move. You know, if you guys want to see it, I can show you a little bit later. But sorry about that.
Like I said, one of the busiest people I know. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and I tried muting my phone, but this shit is so technology. You know, it's so shit nowadays. Yeah. Every time they make you update your phone, this and that, and stuff like that, it just never works.
Yeah, they change the charger port, and they make you have to buy all these new parts. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, I hate it. But that being said, you know, I was known as Mr. Jiggity. I used to be in a gang called the Mendham way back in the day. And I just I've come back to Los Santos to free myself. As if people know my past, my dad came back to Los Santos and he didn't like the way I was acting, so he took me back home. So technically, I ran away from home, and I'm trying to get myself up there. You know, doing a little bit of business here and there, getting myself into just things that intrigue me, and just having fun. You know, making friends and seeing where life takes me. You know.
Speaking of history, I'm always curious. One of the reasons I started this podcast here is because I'm generally a curious person and I love meeting people. And since I've moved here, I've been very attracted to everybody's history because everybody has such a fucking colorful background. Everybody has had incredible lives leading to this point. And like you said, you know, you were in a gang. Like having met you now, I can't even imagine you in a gang. Tell me a little bit about that.
Technically, I was in two gangs. I used to be. My first gang, way back in the day, was NBC, Natural Born Crackheads. And that was with a bunch of people way back in the day. You know, I had my boys. I had Mr. Dean Quincy. I had my husband at the time, Celine Barghouti. Peanut was in that gang. A lot of people were in that gang, and we conquered a lot in that gang, and we were at the top for a while. And as much as I loved them, they just were never around, and it just didn't feel like the family. So 90% of the time when I was in the city, I spent my time with the Mendham, who, after I parted ways with NBC, welcomed me with open arms. And eventually, I helped them. And we created a bond. We helped each other, and we made a decent name for ourselves. And it was a bunch of bunch of people in that gang, but it was mainly people from the UK. And I for the longest time I was the second in command for that gang. But things kind of went south. We hit hard times. We disappointed our leader at times, and short story short, he blew up our homes and left us homeless.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took a turn that I wasn't expecting. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. No, he wasn't happy at the time.
Okay. Yeah, that. I can only imagine. I can only imagine how difficult it gets in a situation where you have multiple people from very strong backgrounds and very strong personalities, kind of being in a group together.
It was a nice group. I enjoyed every moment with them.
Let's rewind a little bit before the gangs. Let's talk about when you first moved to Los Santos. What was that like for you? When was that? How was what your first week here? Tell me a little bit about that, because the city can be intimidating at times.
Yeah, no, it can be intimidating, and sometimes it can be lonely. And to be honest, it was like that. I had my best friend Huckleberry, and me and him were just figuring out ways to survive on the streets of Los Santos. We do a lot of fishing. Back then, we were trying to manage the boats for the fishing trips you'd have to go on. So we talked to a couple people, and someone who really helped me and Huckleberry throughout the city was Abdul. And I feel like many people out there can relate to Abdul, because he's helped a lot of people out there. Kind of get their foot out there, kind of get things started, especially when no one really gives them a chance. Because especially when you're new around town, most people are just busy with their own worlds, and they'll walk by you like you're nothing per se.
It's one of the hardest things. And we had Abdul on the last episode, and it was one of the most insightful things. I'll be honest with you. He that guy's done a lot. He's been around for a minute. A mayor, to convicted terrorist, to a whole bunch of things, and I felt like I learned a lot from him. So having you say that he was also around for you is very inspiring. That guy's done a bunch for everybody.
Yeah, no, he's done a lot for a lot of people in the city. He's that guy that will spend time with you and guide you and show you the ways when no one else will.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that about him, for sure.
Yeah.
When we first started connecting, you and I was booting up this podcast and looking for sponsors and stuff like that. And you have a whole bunch of businesses, and you're an entrepreneur by nature. I have probably never ever seen you sit down. So this might be the first time that I actually get to experience Patar sitting down without running around. You're one of the hardest working people I know. Where does that drive come from? Tell me a little bit about the work ethic and the craziness that is your life right now.
Well, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I like things being done the right way and being done the way I kind of want them to, which is kind of a hard thing, because then it prevents me from delegating work to other people. So a lot of the drive comes from wanting things done the right way. And usually what I'll do is, if I want it done 100% the right way, I'll kind of go do it myself,
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel that. There's a couple of things, even including this podcast. I edit, mix, and master everything myself, even though there's a couple of people on the team that can do it. But it's just when you do it yourself, even if it goes wrong, at least you only have yourself to blame. Is that
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, it's one of those
no,
things.
100%. It's like, in my mind, I wanted it this way, but at least if you do it wrong, you can blame yourself, and you're not blaming someone else,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Is there, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but is there any gang activity, anything in your life as of recent, or are you have you kind of cleansed the palate when it comes to that stuff?
I mean, allegedly, I was charged for allegedly robbing a laundromat. So allegedly, I get my hands dirty here and there, but that's not me. I'm a good man. I'm a good, civilian in Los Santos. I make sure to keep my hand clean, and I like to do honest work. But when it comes to groups or this or that, I'm solo dolo, just trying to make friends, trying to make connections, and just do honest business at the moment.
There seems to be a lot of people that were in groups that have gone the solo route, especially after after and during the Sanguine War, and those 5 years were hard on everybody. Not only did the economy crash, but I felt like our entire foundation kind of fell apart. What were those years like for you? What were you doing during those 5 years?
During those 5 years, I was running multiple businesses. I guess life never changes. A businessman at heart. I ran a multi-million-dollar business called Gold Rush. Who the owner of it was Tommy Tate. I also did allegedly. I don't know if I should say this. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe can we have like a censored segment of the podcast?
Are you searching for reliable trucking services in San Andreas? Look no further than Cusco Trucking Company Limited. Cusco Trucking pride themselves on delivering more than just cargo. They deliver excellence. Their state-of-the-art trucks and experienced drivers ensure your shipments reach their destination safely and on time. Choose Cusco Trucking Co. for reliability and a commitment to exceeding your expectations. Because at Cusco, they don't just move cargo, they move your success forward. Call Cusco Trucking today for a quote and experience the Cusco difference.
Okay. Maybe I'll keep my mouth a little bit quiet then. Okay. This is like off the record. Wink, wink.
Okay.
I used to sell. I used to do a lot of that.
Okay.
I used to sell. Do you think I should say that? My past was the past, and the guy's the same, and boom, bang, bing. How about I say I had a dream?
Yeah, you could say that. That will keep us in the clear.
Yeah. Okay, well, back in the day, I used to have a lot of dreams, right? And when I used to go to bed, I used to have multiple dreams, I had dreams of me selling guns, manufacturing thermite, selling thermite, bringing in cars and, getting the paperwork fixed up for them, sending them to different countries, getting new VIN numbers. I had a lot of wild dreams like that. I even had a dream where, I used to sell RPGs and guns and, all that shit, I had so many wild dreams back in the day. It was bloody crazy. But unfortunately, they were just dreams.
Just dreams and absolutely nothing to worry about now, obviously.
No, of course not. I keep my hand clean. I'm a good guy.
Hell yeah. A lot of the kind of feedback that we've gotten since you and I talked about actually sitting down on the podcast, we kind of also go around and ask people, what would you like to hear Patar say? The majority of the feedback has been about your hardworking mentality, but also that you're just one of the nicest people.
Oh no, they're just being nice.
Have you heard anything like that? Do you know a little bit about, like, do you know people see you that way?
Not really. I guess sometimes my boys have said it to me, or like people here or there, but I don't know.
I honestly feel like it's a trait that I kind of need to learn off you, because I want people to open up and tell me some stuff. I mean, obviously with the podcast, there's a thing about the residents of Los Santos and San Andreas that everybody has their guard up to some degree, and doesn't necessarily go up and be like, yo, what's up, man, how are you today? And I feel like the feedback that we've gotten from asking around is everybody seems to think that you're that guy that checks in on everybody.
I guess, but I guess I don't know. I guess my thing is I wanna make sure that anyone that comes up to me can come up to me without having the worry of being stabbed. And if they do get stabbed, they must have deserved it.
Speaking of that, even just allegedly, and in terms of a parallel universe dream state, have you had to make someone not alive anymore?
You talking about dreams of 5 years ago?
Yeah, just throughout your life, any
oh yeah, throughout my life, I'd say 19 is probably my favorite number.
Okay.
Yeah, 19's a good number. Fortunately, 19 people not in Los Santos.
That's
but that was the old me. I'm not crazy like that anymore.
Yeah.
Last guy that did me wrong, I made him swallow a bomb. He didn't know when his time came.
Oh my god.
I put the timer for 72 minutes and then boom.
That must have been a disastrous scene. I mean,
Yeah, I call that explosive diarrhea. Get it?
very graphic.
That's the thing is, I like to be nice to everyone, but if you cross me, I'll deal with you.
That's a good segue. What's a misconception about you that you feel people don't necessarily know or might not know when they first meet you?
I guess first misconception I'd say is, that I'm a full out pushover, and sometimes I could be, I may forgive, but I won't forget,
Yeah. It goes hand in hand with, I think, everybody seeing you as a nice guy and one of the friendliest people. Maybe they kind of mistake that friendliness that you give off with the idea that they can get away with things.
Exactly.
It's always one of those things, I guess, the balance between being a hard ass entrepreneur, especially someone like yourself that works hard and wants to build a lot of different things in the city, and somebody that just kind of listens to instructions and does what they're told. There's got to be a little balance between that. But let's talk a little bit about what you're building. What can we look forward to in the future? I know we were talking about some sponsorship spots for some of your businesses, and you had like 3 at the time. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I have a couple of businesses in the work at the moment. I'm still working on my little material company just to kind of help out my friends, help out Popular Motors with their material supply, and just whoever needs a decent material supply in the city, So that's in the works, but that's more of like a long-term play.
Yeah.
I have a couple other businesses, but I'm currently under NDA. I can't really talk about them, but let's just say the network of businesses, when they appear, they're gonna, next time I'm on this podcast, I'm gonna be a billionaire.
Okay. Yeah, let's fucking do that. Hell yeah.
So I have a lot of things in the works, but unfortunately, due to NDA clauses, I can't speak of them. But one business at a time. Gotta build one, build that foundation, get it moving, and have it moving, and then bada bing, bada boom. Out of all my businesses, the material game is probably the most least one I'm focused on. That's just more of a side project that I'm kind of looking to build up and kind of hand over to someone else to manage later on in the years.
You and I are very similar when it comes to that approach. I know a lot of people that are looking to start businesses and stuff like that are kind of they're spreading themselves a little too thin, in my opinion, and not focusing on one thing at a time. Whereas, like for example, this podcast, I'm focusing on just talk podcast kind of stuff, and maybe down the line we'll have another show hosted by another person that focuses on other things and kind of build that media realm, and instead of just being like, we're a production company that does everything all at the same time. And obviously I have a couple of other side hustles here and there and try to make ends meet, but yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, part 2 with Patar when he's a millionaire billionaire. Is that safe?
Yeah, that's safe to say. It's coming soon,
Hell yeah. There's a lot of people that make everything tick. There's a lot of people that without them, everything would be 100 times more difficult. Massive shout out to the team here at Papstalk, all the guys that call endlessly to get sponsors, make sure that everybody has guests, all that kind of stuff. Tell me a little bit about your team, the people that you surround yourself with, and how do you have this a network of people that can support these goals that you have?
The way I have this network is I just treat them very well. Like, for example, with my material team, anyone, like, we do a lot of contracts around the city, and my main focus is I'm not taking too much profit away from their pockets. My motto is always, if I'm eating, you're eating too. So the people that help me out more obviously will get their hands on the bigger contracts that pay more. So I make sure to have like an ecosystem of if I eat, you eat type of mind mentality. But also I with like connections around the city, I've built up like a platform where if people work with me, they get certain perks around the city, or they get certain discounts throughout the city. Like, for example, a lot of my material people get discounts on their vehicle repairs at Popular Motors, because one main shop we supply is Popular Motors, and without them getting those materials, Popular Motors wouldn't be functioning. So as appreciation, they give our workers discounts on their repairs.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's thinking it way outside the box in terms of networking and providing all these platforms where people can support themselves as well. That's amazing.
No, 100%. And that's the thing is most people that work for me or work with me, if they need help with certain things, I'm more than willing to help them out with certain things,
I was gonna say, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people, being a fresh resident, I moved here about 5 weeks ago. A lot of the things that I see are with very fresh eyes, and I feel like I've seen opportunities that people have kind of dropped because of that kind of stuff. They don't just make that one connection, add that one person to their phone book, call when they, you know what I mean? Like there's people holding back in general. That I think if they just let go and call the guy, ask the question, maybe they'll answer, and if they don't, then you're still stuck at the same place.
Yeah, no, at least you made the effort to push out of that barrier,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great question for you. What is your advice to people moving to Los Santos, or people that even have been here for a while but have had a harder time, an uphill battle getting to where they want to be, achieving those goals and trying to build their foundation here? What would your advice be?
I think the biggest advice I'd be is obviously don't be stupid with the things you ask, but make that effort. Take that jump, take that leap. Worst comes to worst, you'll fall flat on your face, and then you just have to stand up again and take that leap again. But don't let one or two people ruin your experience, and just do what you find most enjoyable, and surround yourself with good people, and just have fun.
Absolutely. See, I told you and I are on the same wavelength, because my saying is always face first into the concrete. Like you're not going to be able to start a business if you're not hurt along the way. So I always say just jump face first into the concrete, and then after that you'll figure out all the kinks and be able to actually do your thing. So just do it and make sure that everything you do is with good intention, like you said.
Exactly.
Need an appeal to get that felony off your record? Need a legally binding contract to protect you and your assets? Mortimer Vandyne is offering the city of Los Santos his legal services at reasonable rates. Mortimer Vandyne, the solution to all of your legal needs. Call or text 420-871-4458. That's 420-871-4458. Call Vandyne today.
All right, man. We'll wind down here. This is the last question. I like to end on this question because now the audience, the listeners have gotten a little bit of Patar. They know you a little bit. They kind of get your vibe, and this is a good way to kind of wrap things up. I always ask, if you had a time machine, Patar, and you were able to jump back in time, go back to early days, to go back to when you were running the boat business, and give young Patar some advice. What would that advice be?
It'd be, I guess, don't get discouraged too quick. Because I'm not gonna lie, until a certain point, nobody would give me the time of day back then, right? So I took like a year break from the city after that, and I think I got discouraged too quick. But I think the advice I'd give myself is don't give up that quick. Keep on pushing. You fell on the concrete. You planted yourself face first. Just get up and try again, Don't let the few people ruin it for you.
Just got to keep pushing through. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Amazing kind of sentiment to end on. And dude, I know how valuable your time is. I've seen you all over the fucking city, all over the island, working your hands to the bone. So I really, really appreciate you being here. And even the simple fact that your phone's on silent right now and you're not taking calls is I know how busy you are. Thank you for your time, first and foremost.
No, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here, and I can't wait for part 2. Let me become a millionaire, and I got you.
Let's fucking go. And the podcast is officially wrapped when you say the 3 words, hit the outro. So Patar, you have the microphone. Say whatever you want to the listeners, and when you're ready to hit it, you just say hit the outro.
Make sure you like the podcast, share it with your friends, and hit the outro.